All right, good morning. So apparently, what I thought was one video for the last 8 problems ended up being 3. I'm not sure why my computer separated them, so hopefully that wasn't too much of an inconvenience for you guys. But I'm gonna go ahead and continue on here with going over the review and solving the problems and helping you guys hopefully get ready for tomorrow's common assessment. So here's 9 through 13. This is gonna be the focus of this video, and if I can, hopefully get the rest of the other problems on the backside in. So I'm gonna go ahead and just move over to my scratch paper and as I solve these problems. For numbers 9 and 10, they want us to solve the following inequalities, and in both cases they want us to solve for x. So I'm gonna go ahead and move my scratch paper now, and I will go ahead and write the equation again, or the inequality, excuse me, in this case. Hard habit to break, sorry, I keep saying that. So number 9, we have the inequality of 3 times the quantity x minus 8 in parentheses plus 2x is less than or equal to 6. So our first step is to use distributive property to clear up this parentheses business in the front. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times a negative 8 is a negative 24. The plus 2x comes right on down. So does my inequality symbol as well as my numeric answer on the other side. Continuing on, I need to now combine like terms. So in this case, the only thing I can combine on the left side are the x's. So I have 3 x's, positive 3 x's there, and I'm going to combine those with positive or plus 2 x's. 3 x's plus 2 x's are 5 x's. I have this minus 24 that falls down, as well as my inequality symbol and my number 6. Now this is basically treated like a two-step equation. So I'll go ahead and make my little line here to differentiate both sides of my inequality. And the first thing I want to do is to go ahead and add 24 to both sides to clear that up. And in this case, it also helps me combine more like terms, and in this case, the whole numbers. So the 5x falls right on down. Minus 24 plus 24 equals 0, so that goes away. My inequality symbol stays the same and falls down. And 6 plus 24 is 30. Remember, there's no symbol change here because I have not have not multiplied or divided by a negative number. And in this case, in order to get x or isolate x all by itself, I will divide by a positive 5. So that gives me a positive 1x. Dividing by a positive 5 will not affect the direction of my inequality symbol, so that remains the same. And then 30 divided by 5 is 6. So there's that answer, and I believe if I look carefully, it is also in our answer key. So I will now continue on to number, whoops, I dropped my pen there, give me a second. Okay, I'll continue on now to number 10. So number 10, another inequality, it's negative 20 plus 6x is greater than 2x plus 12. Okay, so now I notice I have variables on both sides of my inequality symbol. So in this case, what I want to do is I want to move the least amount over to where I have the most. So I want to basically move these 2 x's over here to the 6 x's. In order to do that, I would have to subtract 2 x's from both sides. So by removing them from the right-hand side, here's what my inequality looks like now. The negative 20 has not been affected. 6 x's minus 2 x's leaves me with positive 4 x's. My inequality symbol remains the same. 2 x's minus 2 x's on the right hand side leaves me with no x's, so that just goes away. And this positive 12, or just a 12, falls down. Now I will continue to treat this like a two-step equation with an inequality in this case. So I want to go ahead and get rid of this negative 20 that's hanging out at the end. I'll do that by adding 20 to both sides of my inequality. This also helps me combine like terms on the other side with the numbers. So negative 20 plus 20 is 0. The positive 4x falls right on down. My inequality symbol comes right on down. 12 plus 20 on the right hand side is 32. Now to isolate x, I divide both sides by a positive 4. And remember, since it's a positive 4, it will not have any effect on the direction of my inequality symbol. So I have a single x greater than 32 divided by 4 is 8. And that answer, I believe, is also that we go at the very end of our answer document, or answer key there. So there's number 10. Moving on now, let's go ahead and let's do number 11. So number 11, this is simplification. Sometimes students are not sure what to solve for, and that's because there's no solving. All you're doing is taking what's like a really long equation and making it as small as possible by combining all the like terms using your various algebra properties. So number 11, we have 12a plus 12b. Then we have plus parentheses 5 times the quantity a plus b minus more parentheses 8 times the quantity 2a plus 6b minus 1. And that is the end of our full, in this case, expression. It's not even an equation because there's no equal sign. So first thing I'm going to do is distribute a property. Whatever's not being distributed, is going to come right on down. So the 12a plus the 12b on the far left will go ahead and fall right on down. Now I'll begin to distribute. Positive 5 times an a is a positive 5a. Positive 5 times a positive b is a positive 5b. More distribution. A negative 8 times a positive 2a is a negative 16a. Because remember, you have to take the sign and treat it like it's the value, it's the symbol, it's the value of the number. So negative 8 now times a positive 6b, negative 8 times a positive 6 is a negative 48b. And then finally, my last term, negative 8 times a negative 1, a negative times a negative would give me a positive 8. Next thing I have to do now is combine my like terms. I like to have my variables first, but in this case I have a's and I have b's and I have whole numbers. So let's go in alphabetical order. Let's do the letter a's first. So here I have 12 letter a's. I can combine that going from left to right with 5 letter a plus 5 a's. So 12 a's plus 5 a's, that's 17 letter a's. Going on, I have to now do some subtraction. I have to subtract 16 a's. 17 a's that I had from these two minus 16 a's leaves me with a single a. So I have one single letter a sitting right there. Now I can go ahead and I'm going to use all my letter b's, condense them, combine all my letter b's together. So I have plus 12 b's on the left, positive 12, plus 5 more b's, so I gain more, that's 17 letter b's. But now I have this minus 48 b's. So now I have to do a little math. I have to figure out what 12 plus 5, which is 17 b's, minus 48 is. And 17 minus 48 is negative, or in this case, minus 31 b's, because I have no more b's that I can attach. Finally, I combine any and all whole numbers that I have, and in this case, or numbers in general, and I have just the positive 8 at the very end. So my answer is A minus 31b plus 8, and that does coincide with our answer key. Now let's move on to number 12. So for number 12, it's the exact type of thing.